Hey guys, Kappa from BitConsult here. Today's video is going to cover options and leverage. So options are kind of a cool tool. They're a derivative of financial instruments and they might seem overwhelmingly complex at first. But options are really two things at the base level. Number one, they could be a short-term bet that a stock is going to move a certain percentage, either up or down, in a certain time period. A lot of people use options to place, weekly bets that say Apple is going to go above, 120 by the end of the week. If it ends up happening, then you could get a really big payoff, 10x, 100x your money. If it doesn't work out, then you can lose all of your money. So options kind of have like an asymmetric return profile, they call it. You could only lose 100%, but you could gain a lot very quickly, and they can be very, very dangerous. The other side of options is actually writing the options or supplying them. So you could get paid, believe it or not, for this writing a put, it's called. So you can guarantee someone that you will buy a certain stock for a certain price lower than it is today at some point in the future. What this effectively does is say, hey, I know that I want to own Apple long term. I could get paid for the guarantee that I will buy it at a lower price in the future. It may seem counterintuitive at first, but what it does is it kind of bails the other guy out who might be over leveraged on Apple and needs to get out at a certain number. That's where the smart money is. Writing options, writing puts, writing calls, and that's on the guarantee side, not on the bet side, which you'll kind of see that pop up in a lot of different things in life, where the smart money is, the house of the casino, and the dumb money is, rolling dice at the craps table. That being said, it's kind of hard to resist. And another thing that is very hard to resist is leverage. If you think that you have the right stock or the right coin, you might be tempted to go on E-Trade and bump up your margin buys, or hop on BitMEX and buy Bitcoin at 1,000x or something crazy. This is a really bad idea. So when you buy a stock, you should really have a 5-year plan, because the only thing working on your side is the element of time. Publicly traded companies like Goldman Sachs have to meet, quarterly deadlines. They have thousands of employees, if not millions, with, hyper trading technology and analysis teams, and you're not going to beat these guys in the short term. But when you over leverage yourself, when you borrow money to trade, more than likely you're going to get squeezed out and you're going to lose all of your money when you get margin called. And the really crappy thing about this is you could get margin called on something that you end up being right about. I had an experience with Apple where I owned both short-term options and a lot of leveraged common stock, and I knew that Apple was undervalued. It was the biggest company in the world at the time still, but it was worth about a third of what it's worth right now. I felt they were so undervalued that I was willing to put big bets on the stock accumulating in value over the next 3 to 4 months. It turns out the next quarter, they miss their iPhone sale target by 3 phones, and the stock tanks 5%. I got squeezed out of a lot of my positions, and the crappy thing is, within another 3 months, Apple, the biggest company in the world, ended up doubling in value. That's crazy to think that all these analysts could somehow miss the value by 100%, but it happened. Unfortunately, I didn't take part in too many of the gains, and I got squeezed out too early because I thought I was cool and I was messing around with options and leverage. So the big takeaway here is, with both options and leverage, and specifically for you crypto people with trading on margin or with going to BitMEX, just be very careful and make sure that you're using your advantages to your advantage. Have a long time horizon. Of course, hold your private keys, and don't try to play the little trades. Just hold on to something that you truly believe in.